He had written 43 letters to a woman he'd never seen. 43 letters filled with honest words, careful hopes, and the kind of loneliness a man only admits to paper. And when the train finally pulled into Drystone Station on that October afternoon, Sawyer Hale stood on the platform with his hat in both hands, his heart doing something embarrassing in his chest, until the doors opened. She looked 16 years old. Sawyer took one step backward without meaning to. The girl on the platform had a carpet bag the size of a feed sack, dark circles under her eyes deep enough to sleep in, and the expression of someone who had already decided the world was about to disappoint her. She scanned the crowd with sharp, cautious eyes. Not the eyes of someone excited about a new beginning, but the eyes of someone calculating how quickly they could leave if things went wrong. This was not what he had imagined, not even close. And from 40 feet away, across a dusty Nevada platform, Eliza Rowan found the man holding a crumpled hat and staring at her like she'd stepped off the wrong train, and thought exactly the same thing about him. Drop a comment below and tell me what city you're watching from. Let's see how far this story travels. Hit that like button and stay with us, because what happens next is going to surprise you. The morning Sawyer Hale drove his wagon into Drystone had started badly before it started at all. He'd overslept, which almost never happened, because the night before he'd lain awake until well past 2 in the morning rereading the last letter. Not for information. He had every word of it memorized by then. He'd reread it because he was nervous, and nervous was not something Sawyer Hale knew how to be without something to do with his hands, and there was nothing left to do. The extra room was swept. The quilt on the bed was new. He'd put a small pitcher of dried desert flowers on the windowsill and then immediately removed them because they looked ridiculous, then put them back because the room looked bleak without them. He'd spent 20 minutes on that decision alone. So he overslept, then woke with a jolt, then burned his coffee, then drove the wagon too fast over the first mile of road until Buck, his older draft horse, gave him a look over one shoulder that clearly communicated something like, "Calm down, you're embarrassing us both." Sawyer slowed down. He arrived at the station with 40 minutes to spare and stood on the platform while the Nevada sun climbed the sky and beat down on the back of his neck and made the air smell like hot iron and dust. Other people came and went, a woman with 3 small children, 2 men in town suits, a boy selling newspapers who kept trying to catch Sawyer's eye until Sawyer bought a paper just to make it stop. He didn't read a single word of it. He had written to Eliza Rowan, or rather to the agency first, and then directly to Eliza herself once the agency provided the introduction, for nearly 8 months. The correspondence had begun stiffly, the way these things always did. He'd written about the ranch, square footage of the house, number of cattle, distance to town. The practical things, because a woman considering this kind of arrangement deserved practical information first, not poetry. But Eliza had written back with questions that caught him off guard. "What do you do in the evenings?" she'd asked in her 3rd letter. "When the work is done and supper is over, do you read? Do you sit outside? I'm not asking about the ranch. I'm asking about you." He'd sat with that question for almost a week before answering it honestly. "I sit on the porch," he'd finally written. "I watch the sky go dark. Sometimes I think about what I'm building out here and why. Sometimes I don't think about anything at all. I suppose that sounds dull." Her reply had come back faster than usual. "It doesn't sound